Bear down, Chicago. How you doing today, man? We got a show for you today. Some exciting news, man. Straight from the horse's mouth, straight from Ben Johnson, man. Welcome to Chicago Sports Podcast, coming to you live, loud on the Shy Sports Network, baby. I'm your host with the most, Brandon Shacks Hyde, and I am here for you with some new news, okay? On this show, first of all, where have you been? Where are you at? If you haven't watched us anytime soon and you've been busy, that's all right. Glad you could catch up. Glad you could spend this lunch hour with us. And I'll tell you what, folks, Ben Johnson just gave us a big whopper, man. He answered a lot of our questions. So make sure that you tune into this, okay? Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Share this video and hit that noti bell so you can miss everything. You can get all the stuff, all the goodies. So, second of all, I want to welcome you because I know that you guys are the most passionate fans in all 32 NFL teams, okay? The most fired up and the most Chicago sports show on the internet is right here to help you feed your crave, baby. So today, Monday 30th, okay, 2026, I'm coming to you straight from the Arizona Biltmore in Phoenix, man, with some news, okay? Straight from my studio. There is some breaking news where the 2026 NFL Annual League meeting is in full swing, baby. And I'll tell you what, Bears Nation, I need you to understand something right now, okay? This is history. This is the moment that we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, okay? All offseason. Ben Johnson just stepped in front of the cameras at the NFC Coaches Breakfast this morning and delivered, man. Woo, we needed it. We've seen him everywhere, okay? We've seen him out there taking care of business and, shaking hands and, kissing babies and all that wonderful stuff. We've seen him in front of everywhere. He's been going to the Cubs game. He's been going to the Bulls game. He's been going to the Blackhawks game. But now it was time to go to a meeting, and he was all about that business, okay? So I'll tell you what, man, we got some good stuff, and I can't wait. So I say, let's get into it, all right? When he stepped up to that breakfast, man, in front of the cameras at the NFC Coaches Breakfast this morning, he delivered. And here's the thing. This is what he said. And it got me fired up, and I know it'll get you guys fired up, okay? In a way that I haven't really been fired up since the playoff run last year. It's been a little bit. It seems like it's been forever, right? And it was a 30-minute press conference. And you know how Ben Johnson mind works, right? He cooks. He produces at a high level. He wastes no words, right? So if you're watching on YouTube right now, once again, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of Breaking Bears coverage from the Shy Sports Network, man. We're just getting started, and this show is going to go deep today, okay? So let me set the table for you because there's a lot to unpack, man. All right? There's a lot to unpack. Ben Johnson broke his silence this morning for the first time since the end of last season, and he didn't hold back. No. The left tackle situation, Taylor Decker, Drew Dalman's retirement, Braxton Jones showing up yoked. That's right, man. Ben Johnson looks like a monster, man, like he's been working out and taking care of business every day. And then there was a new OC, Press Taylor, he was talking about, and Coby Bryant, all this stuff. Joe Tryon Shoinka heading to Philly. We're hitting it all today and then some, all right? So listen, we're giving you that and a bag of chips, man. And later on, my brother, my master at arms, D Nice, is going to be calling in on the hotline, and we're going to have a real conversation about everything going down in Phoenix, man. Okay, no fluff, no None of that, okay, between us. Just two Chicago guys who love Chicago Bears football at the highest level, man, the highest. So, like I said, Bears Nation, let's start at the top. This morning at the NFC Coach Breakfast at Arizona Biltmore, Ben Johnson sat down for a 30-minute conversation, folks, with the media. And I want to walk you through everything he said because every single word matters for this 2026 season. First on deck, okay? We found out about Drew Dalman's decision, and he said that he found out about Drew Dalman's decision to retire in mid-February, and the team quickly pivoted to Garrett Bradbury, who they believe will fit us like a glove. All right. So I will say this, man. I think that Garrett Bradbury is going to be good, man. And I think that I love the confidence here. That tells me that the staff did their homework. And Bradbury is a proven starter who knows how to play in a zone blocking system, and he's going to be just fine in that center spot, okay? So I'm not worried about it. So let's move on to the next topic, okay? Let's talk about the left tackle in the Bears Nation. I want you guys to chime in on this about the Bears tackle, okay? Because here's the deal. We got a guy that he used to play with, okay, or coach for and I think that he could fit pretty nicely in Taylor Decker, right? But, Ben Johnson said that on the tape from Family Fest at Soldier Field early August 2025, the really sloppy practice that featured a bunch of delay of game penalties to see where they were starting at camp last year and how much further ahead they want to be in OTAs with the offseason. So I believe that they got through all of, the aches and pains and the growing pains and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to see a much polished product. So maybe the fact that we started out slow and went 0-2, we won't see that, because they're ready to go. I think so. So, but he did say there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty at the left tackle position. Okay. And he said, he's not so sure about if the Bears will even have Ozzy Trapilo doing the whole 2026 season after Trapilo suffered a pretty serious injury with his ruptured patellar tendon, man. Johnson said it's hard to say what the Bears left tackle position will look like this year or in 5 years. So, I mean, really, it's all up in the air. So, but don't panic because it sounds like he's got it all figured out and they're going to do something, okay? He also said that Braxton Jones, man, he's up to 310 pounds now, and he looked yoked. When Johnson saw him come in to sign his contract during free agency, he said Jones is eager to get his career trajectory back on track. So to me, they're talking about these other players that are, going to be playing with, I would say motivation. This guy sounds motivated, okay? This sounds motivated. And I think in the beginning of his career, he was trying to learn from an NFL standpoint, a left tackle position without a coach, without a true bona fide offensive line coach that was, worth his salt. And now with Dan Rushauer and now Ben Johnson and these other offensive linemen keeping him honest, I think he understands and he's taking his role serious. And he knows that, he might not have as much time in the NFL as a starting left tackle if he doesn't tighten up. And it sounds like he did a good job at tightening up, But I said that's why this conversation about Taylor Decker is so important, man. I really feel that way. And here's another thing I want to bring up about the receivers, because Johnson isn't happy with the offensive staff on how they didn't coach the wide receivers to get open enough. He emphasized that getting back to fundamentals and OTAs on catching the ball to address drop issues. So they're going to hit the ground running on that. They're going to do their due diligence and make sure that all those receivers catch the darn ball. I know you guys remember that. It was pretty rough, man. Not gonna lie. It was there was a lot of drop balls, right? So now I will tell you this. Um I will say I enjoyed hearing about the Press Taylor thing. The new OC Press Taylor, formerly the passing game coordinator, is the most organized coach that he's ever been around. Ben Johnson said that. He noted that his library of plays, how to beat different defenses and how he organizes information as a benefit to Johnson in Taylor's new role. I think that's important. I think that helps Ben, do his job because he's, working harder. So Ben Johnson doesn't have to be smarter, and I feel like since he's smarter and he's organized, now we have a good product out there. And I feel like, Ben Johnson can do his role and facilitate more as a head coach and not just wear two hats, which I think he's always going to wear as many hats as he can. He's one of those guys that he's just a dog. He's going to go out there and do as much as he can for the team and help them out. But he doesn't have to feel the pressure. And I think that's very important that you don't have to feel that pressure. You know what I'm trying to say? So, on to the next topic. He said, Johnson said coaches will be hyper vigilant to any complacency and entitlement after the success of last season. So he's not saying right now, he's basically saying that these guys are not just going to rest on the laurels of last year because they did the playoffs and all this and that. They beat the Packers and everything. Like, no, basically we're starting out 0-0, or maybe even from a deficit from Ben Johnson's perspective, because he wasn't happy with the results, the drop passes and all the things that they could have done better. While he was happy to hear from fan supporters for about a week about how exciting the 2025 season was, he said he doesn't want to hear any more about how good the Bears were as they moved on to 2026. That is a man that is dialed in, that is locked in, and that ready to go. He's ready to go, man. I'm very excited about the next topic, man, because and I'm so happy that Courtney Cronin shared all this with us, and she went out on XApp and did a really good job of just breaking it all down to where we could. So if you get a chance, go circle back and look at that also. Okay. So she also said that Ben Johnson was talking about how the new safety Coby Bryant vowed that Johnson with a holy cow it factor in terms of his leadership, and that he will be a critical piece to replace in the leadership void created by Kevin Byard's departure. So basically just putting the pressure on Coby Bryant, letting him know like, hey, man, you got big shoes to fill. Kevin Byard was a really good leader, and we need you to step up here. You have a different skill set that we needed to bring you in the building, but make no mistake about it, you have to be a leader in this locker room for our defense. And I think that's important. I think that's important to get these guys, locked in and all of that kind of stuff. The next topic is important. I want to bring up. Here's another graphic I want to share with you guys. Johnson also noted how challenging it was to form relationships with Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon last year, and gives how both missed significant time with injuries. We're starting over completely this spring with their relationships, so he has a better chance to get to know these players. He really didn't have a chance to get to know them because they're always injured, and he had to coach up the guys that were on the field that were working and they were grinding and get them, dialed in and focus with them. And I understand that. I mean, you've got to get those guys ready for battle every Sunday or whenever you play. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think that, it's important. I think that it's important to just take all this with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, things are going to happen. You got to be ready for it. And we're going to keep you ready for it right here on Chicago Sports Podcast. make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with everybody, okay? Um, and make sure that you're here for all the breaking news. Hit that notification bell. That's what I'll say. And share this video with everybody that you know, because we have a lot of good guests coming on. We got Dan Hampton coming on this week. We got a draft expert coming on from PFSN coming on Friday. So we got a lot of good guests. We're just going to keep it rolling, man. The Big Mo rolling, okay? And we're on also Believe in Bears, and we're also Believe in Cubs, and we're excited to be a part of that also. So make sure wherever you metabolize that, podcast listening, audio, whether it be on Amazon, whether it be Spotify, whether it be Apple Podcasts, that you go ahead and look us up. Make sure you hit that follow button, download it, and comment. We like to hear from you, just like we like to hear from you on this show. Okay. This show is created from a fan, me, for fans, you, and we want your voice to be heard. And I see a lot of you in the chat right now buzzing it. And we're going to get back to that, but we have a lot to talk about. So this is brought to you by Bridges Scoreboard, your Northwest Indiana Chicago sports headquarters, with a Hall of Fame menu and the coldest beer in Chicagoland. So please call 219-924-2206 to get ready for your next Chicago sports event. Okay, a lot of good games coming on. You got the Cubbies, the Sox. They need to get back on top. They need to react and do good. Okay, the Cubs and the Sox, they're in a hole early, and they need to battle the way out of it. The Blackhawks, they're looking pretty good and promising. The Bulls, I don't know what's going on. That's like a train wreck, but they got some pieces over there for sure, man. They got some grinders. They got some kids over there that, I'm kind of hopeful for. Still need to get a superstar, but, and you got Chicago Fire, you got UFC. There's so much stuff that we're going to talk about. So make sure you tune into everything. Okay. Now let's get back to this guy. Let's get back to Taylor Decker. Yes or no, if you'd like to sign him. Is that somebody that you're interested in? Okay. Because, that's what I want to talk to you about next, about Taylor Decker, man. Why this conversation is so important, because reports are surfacing this morning that Ben Johnson has personally reached out to Decker following his release from Detroit on March 9th. And Decker spent a decade in Detroit, man. So Ben Johnson knows him very well. And he was a Pro Bowler in 2024 when Ben Johnson was there. He was a captain in that locker room under Johnson. His deal, and if the deal of the price is right, Taylor Decker becomes a veteran anchor that keeps Caleb Williams' blindside clean. You know what I mean? And maybe we can wait for Ozzy Trapilo to come back healthy, and he can work with him and, tune him up and get him ready. And he could turn into the next Taylor Decker 2.0, or maybe even better. Does Taylor Decker have any little thing left in the tank? All I know is we got to keep Caleb clean, his pocket clean, and we got to keep him upright on his blind side, okay? That's what I'm talking about, and I'm here for it. Bears faithful. Now let's move on to Braxton Jones. Oh, Braxton Jones. Who thought? I didn't think that Braxton Jones, we were even going to be talking about Braxton Jones. I thought he was going to be, down, Happy Acres and down, down the road, man. And, it just, he never really had a fair shot. I will say this. He was a late draft pick, so I don't expect the world of him. And I actually, for being that late, he actually did a pretty decent job, not going to lie, especially the fact that he never had a true bona fide, real good offensive line coach to learn from, or any good complementary offensive lineman to learn from at that. I mean, he's been pretty much out on an island himself, and they just been moving these musical chairs with the old Matt Eberflus regime. It was bad. So, but Taylor Decker, man, he becomes a veteran anchor, and I think that's something that we need to look at. All right. Now you got Braxton Jones coming in looking yoked at 311 pounds, or I think it was 310. And this is the word of Johnson. He said, he looked yoked. And, and Braxton's had his struggles. We know that. But Johnson said that Jones is eager to get his career back on track, and that he has motivation, and that matters, man. That when you got motivation and you're playing for something, it matters. It's really important. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with that. But this Decker, man, I'll tell you what. What do you guys think about him? You guys want him? He says, who did call Decker? Ben Johnson, his former offensive coordinator and current head coach of the Chicago Bears. Justin Rogers of the Detroit News said that, so I don't think he would float that out there for no particular reason. I think that actually did happen. He's 6'7", 324. Remind you of somebody? That's right. Ozzy Trapilo, same height, all that. But 32 years old, 10 years in the league, class of 2016. He only allowed 3 QB hits in 2025, 2 sacks allowed the whole season, 5 penalties, and a 68 PFF grade. Now, he was dealing with shoulder issues, so I would say that he really wasn't blocking that well, and I don't know if anybody's ever tried to do any sort of, like, pushing in or even just being an offensive lineman or blocking or anything like that, but you need your shoulders, you need your back, you need all of it, but shoulders are where you transfer the strength of your back and your arms. And I'm telling you, man, it could be very cumbersome if you're having shoulder issues and playing through it. But that's a testament to how strong he is and how much he wants to win and be out on that field, playing through that stuff. So as it stands, here's our offensive line. We got Braxton Jones, Ozzy Trapilo, obviously injured, and Willis Jr. Just signed him. Thuney, Jordan McFadden backing him up. Good, solid back up there. Bradbury, and then backing him up, Luke Newman, but should be drafting a center. Okay. You got Jonah Jackson, right guard, and Hergel, backup right guard. And you got Darnell Wright, right tackle. Theo Benedict, right tackle backup, and Amagaji. I don't know if he's going to actually be on the team before this is all over, but here's the measurables for Braxton Jones. Says right here he's 6'3", but we just found out he gained 7 pounds of muscle. Okay, and I hope it's in his legs because the guy couldn't anchor at all. 2 QB hits allowed in 2025. Didn't play much, so we know that. 2 sacks allowed, 1 penalty, and a 55.5 PFF grade. So not really spectacular, not really setting your hair on fire, nothing like that. But would you start Taylor Decker over the current Braxton Jones? I want to know. I'm kind of interested. Maybe you bring both of them in. Well, you already got Braxton in. I'm just saying for a starting role potentially, and see him battle it out through not only, training camp and but the preseason, offseason, all that is what I would say. I think that's what you do right there is you bring them in and see. And if it's on a team friendly discount, because, like I said, 32 years old, you're still in the free agency and you're on the third, hitch of the free agency that's opened up. So you're not expensive. Your price tag's not expensive. You're on the third phase of it and going on into, deeper days of free agency. And also after, after the draft, I think you'd even be more affordable. But I do want to know, but I think like that conversation is how healthy are you? Bring him in, check him out, see if he's ready to go. Have a conversation because Ben knows him. Like, hey man, be honest with me. You good to go or not? Because if you are, I might need you. Type thing. And what would it cost to bring in that sort of conversation? I believe that probably happened. I don't know for sure. I'm not an insider. I'm just connecting the dots like you folks are at home. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Braxton has had his struggles. We know that. But Johnson said he's eager, man. So Braxton could absolutely compete for that left tackle spot while Trapilo recovers if we don't go out for Decker. But I want to know from you guys at home, who do you want? You want Taylor Decker or do you want Braxton Jones? Now I will tell you this, we don't have a whole lot of money left. So they might have something there, we already signed Ben, so we might just, we already re-signed Braxton, so we might just have to roll with him. But there's a reason why they called him, so they might need to restructure a contract or something like that, is what I'd say. But I'm really glad Courtney Cronin broke all this down, man. She did an incredible job. She did great. Um, and I just think that it's important uh, for somebody like her to be there in Arizona to break all this down for us, because this is important. This is like the first time that Ben really stepped out and talked at the NFC coaching um, meeting there. So, yeah. What else do we got? What other kind of business that we got? Let's see here. Um, getting back to those wide receivers, that he was not happy with them, and catching the football and eliminating those drops, because those drops killed drives last season and games too. They were the difference of us winning and losing games. And it also kind of kills Caleb's motivation and things like that. It puts us in different situations. We don't really know what the true coaching would be. We don't know what the playbook would really be like, if we didn't have um a better product out there. And a coach can only do so much. At the end of the day, the players have to play, and they have to respond, and they have to put it out there on the field, right? Is what I'd say. So, I mean, as far as this goes, I mean, honestly, I feel like we are gonna see a whole lot different team. And it's kind of interesting. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Um, do you feel like, even though we lost some of our favorite players, some guys that had to go, I mean, we saw what they did. We saw what they did out there on the field. We had them, and they didn't get it done. The defense was really bad. The receivers were dropping balls. I mean, it tells us something when you can trade DJ Moore and go get a second round draft pick. And it'll tell us even more what they use with that second round draft pick, and where Ben is going with this. And I think he understands that the coaching has to get a lot better, okay, with those drop balls, and they want to get it and tackle it in OTAs before we even take the field, for a real life game. So, um, but now I will say it was interesting to hear about Press Taylor and the enormous praise that Ben Johnson gave him, saying that it's a massive benefit about how organized he is, and all that kind of stuff. So, but hey, real quick reminder, Bears faithful, if you're rocking with us right now, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to hit that like button, subscribe, share the video, and hit that notification bell, man. So to the Shy Sports Network channel, and also make sure you guys get on our website, check it out. We're tackling some of the best articles, some of the best news that Chicago sports has out there. Anything that happens, we write a blog about. So me and Matt Cooper and the rest of our team, we're on there faithfully bringing stuff to you: Sox, Cubs, Blackhawks, motocross, you name it, man. Soccer, all of it, man. UFC, it's great. Obviously, the Bears and the Bulls. Bull season's almost over. March Madness. How's your team doing? How's your tourney doing? Are you guys got a good bracket? Has anyone out there still got a clean bracket? Because if you do, I need you on the show, and I need you to help a brother out. So, because I ain't doing so well, but that's all the time. I want you guys to I want to know from you, okay? Do you guys want Taylor Decker in a Bears uniform? Yes or no? Tell me right now in the comments. And if, like I said, if you're listening to the audio, fire us up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. Search Chicago Sports Podcast and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode, okay? We drop content all week long. Look, we're here at lunchtime, all right? So, yeah, you don't want to miss anything coming, okay? So, all right. So, let's talk about the JTS to Philly and draft implications, okay? We're going to go over that for like the next 10 minutes or so. So, let's talk about that departure of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. He officially signed with the Eagles on a 1-year deal. And Bears Nation, I want to be honest with you. JTS actually gave us something in specific packages last season. He had his moments, but behind Montez Sweat and emerging Austin Booker, he could never crack that permanent rotation. You know what I mean? He wasn't that special of a player, but I feel like depth, we're missing something. And what does that mean going forward? It means that Poles has a decision to make, you know? He has a decision to make right now as far as a pass rush. We need to get it better, okay? Um, and we need to also not only have a pass rush, but also stopping the run. And I think the answer is coming in the draft. Let me know in the comments below, okay? With JTS gone, we need a high motor edge rusher in the middle rounds, okay? Or this draft, just move up the priority list, okay? We've got 4 picks in the top 90 thanks to the DJ Moore trade. And you know, I was a little bummed out about it. I think you guys were too, but I think after the draft, we'll feel a little bit better because we got extra ammunition to address multiple needs now, right? Speaking of the draft, I want to start planting some seeds right now because later in the show, we might be getting into a mock draft. If you guys want to get into one, let me know in the comments below if you want to get into a mock draft because D Nice might actually be giving us a phone call. And, you know, let's see what happens. Um, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And go from there. So yeah, I just let me know if you want to do one. I'm always up for one. You know what I'm saying? D Nice is getting ready to call here in a little bit. And he said probably in about 15, 20 minutes when the show starts, and it's already been past that. So wherever you're at, D Nice, give me a phone call. What's going on, man? Um, so yeah, but it's good to have him on. It's good to have you guys on. And we're gonna talk about the roster and you know, deep playoff run and all that stuff because we need to explore everything, you know what I mean? So let's see what we got here in all of these text messages, you know. Um Alex, a Bears fan. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Thanks for showing up. He's calling it now. I anchor at 25, safety and edge round 2. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. I like that. So yeah, man. Thank you for that. Noah King. He said, "Hey, Trax. Hey man, thanks for the phone call yesterday. We will play that. We'll play your well, when we look at the mailbag, we're gonna listen to the mailbag and play your stuff. So what's up, Doug? Bear down, buddy. How's it going, Noah? Doug says, you should be, you definitely should be in something. LT is in left tackles in play. Yeah, I agree with that. What's up, Noah? He says, "Hey, Trap, I called, left a voicemail yesterday." Yes, you did, brother. Thank you so much. So, yeah, that was really nice because Doug was trying to recruit people to call in because he likes hearing from everybody, and so do we. We all like hearing from everyone. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you call that, and we can hear your voice. Let your voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? I think that's part of the show. We like that on this show, and we like hearing from you. I like hearing from you for sure. Doug says Braxton getting stronger. I like that, man. I like that a lot. D Nice live. Yep. Let's hope. Lord willing. Maybe something came up. At least I'm on the show. Somebody's always at least on the show. Doug, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. We love it. He says D Nice live. Noah called and left a hot take. That's great, man. Noah says Trapeze Von Miller wants to come play with the Bears. Really? What's the source, Noah? I'd like to hear that. That would be kind of cool. I don't know how old he is or if he can do anything, but hey, man, if he checks out and he's passes physical and they put some eyes on him, see what he could do. Why not? You bring him in, you know. If anything, he could show Booker some stuff, you know. Maybe even Sweat might learn a thing or two. You never know. Iron sharpens iron, right? So that would definitely be something to explore. I wouldn't mind it, especially if it was on a team-friendly discount, you know. He's looking for someone that could be a contender, you know. Sure, he wants another one. I could see Vaughn having some value on this squad. I do too. So, Taylor Decker, you heard it here right away. CSP Hotline, DG. The right philosophy. It's a new season and chapter. King says, Trapeze, the Bears are not satisfied with just the NFC North Division title. They want the Super Bowl title. I couldn't agree more, man. I really think that they're setting the bar pretty high. You hear Ben Johnson saying that, and he's not resting on last year's success. He's hungry and he wants to win more. And that goes right in hand with what, Noah's saying there. So I think that they're going to do better. And I think these guys are really going to grow, and it was funny because I was okay with not going as deep as we did. I thought we would, but I was okay as long as we grew and everything got better. And, Caleb grew and our offense grew and our team grew. And we saw what we had in Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen. I was okay with that, because sometimes people go to the playoffs and then next year, what happens? They fall apart. Guys go somewhere else and they just, injuries happen, whatever. Look at what happened to Washington. They went from worst to first back to worst. I don't think Bears are going to be that way. I don't think Ben is going to allow that. Thank you, Louie. Thank you for the gift. I love this, man. I always said, I've always wanted, I have a problem. Every time I go somewhere, I went to a card show with my son and my nephew, and I was looking at all these bobblehead dolls, and I love them. The problem is I put so much pressure on myself because I want to get the right bobblehead first ever doll. I want the bobblehead to look great. I want to put it behind me so everybody could see it. And now this is going to be right up there with that. And Louis said he had it for a long time. He sent it to me in the mail. Thought it was special. Appreciate it. It's an 85 season record and all of that. And the wins and losses, obviously, pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. I love it. Love it. Thank you. The Super Bowl, 85 Super Bowl special. And he knows how much the 85 means to me. He knows how much they mean to me for sure. Make sure you guys give us a call, 872-256 1424, 872-256-1424. And if you call and there is a special message that you send that we really like, I will send you a t-shirt, a Bears t-shirt, 2025 t-shirt, man. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a Nike for your size, Make sure you guys do me one other favor. It's that time that I let you guys in on a little something. I need your help, okay? We're already at 31,000, just about 31,000. We're like 30,900, which is crazy because 2 days ago I said we were at, little over 24 hours. I said that we were approaching 30,000, and now we're already at 31. We're knocking on 31,000 doors. So, I mean, it's almost 34, 35,000, 40,000. I mean, it's, you guys are growing, man. You guys love this show. We love you. Let's see what happens. I think this is D Nice calling in.
Call from
D Nice.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, D Nice.
Oh.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for calling thanks for calling the hotline, man. I've been on the show for 38 minutes and it gets a little frustrating. But I'm like, I know he's coming, guys. I know he's coming, but I saw you got into a little situation, but I'm glad you're with us and I'm glad you're good to go. If you have the radio on in your vehicle or wherever you're at, make sure you turn that down so we don't get any feedback. But man, always a pleasure to have you on, man. How you doing today, brother?
All is well, man. Always great to be on. Always great to talk Bears football.
So
what's good with you guys?
So listen, we were talking about how somebody was floating that it would be nice to get Von Miller in the building, and they said that Noah said that he wants to be a Bear. How do you feel about that? Think he'd provide some value or no?
Nah, I don't think Von gonna provide any value, not at this point in his career.
Okay.
I think he's had better days.
Mm-hmm.
I think he need to chill out and wait on that yellow jacket, man.
Hmm. Yeah, it could be coming for sure. But now the news is that Taylor Decker had a conversation with Ben Johnson. Maybe he's kicking the tires and you know, and that was the breaking news that we had today. They had that meeting, the NFC coaches meeting in Arizona, and Courtney Cronin reported and brought all that to us. And so I was really excited to share that with everybody, and then talked about how, he wanted to hit the ground running. He wasn't resting on the laurels of last year. The record, he didn't want to hear about it no more. And he wanted to make sure that the receiving coach that we all are excited about, that does the rah-rah and high fives and all that, he needs to tighten up and make sure them boys catch the ball. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, yeah, you got to do that before you can celebrate and do all that fun stuff and sound charismatic and whatever. But I also do recommend that people understand this. When you talk to Jim Miller and other
100%.
You talk to Jim Miller and other quarterbacks, they always tell you one thing, that it is your job and it's incumbent on you as a quarterback, just like you are setting the table. You want to make sure everything is real nice so that when you bite into that steak or whatever it is that you have, you got all the silverware out there. We're not trying to get you to eat a steak with a spoon, or chopsticks or something. You got to have it all laid out there. You can't come in hard, every time. And that's where he's got to float that ball at special times. He's got to put some speed in it. If there's, a closing defender, all these sort of things. And that's what he's got to work on, because he's got that arm talent. He's got that speed. He's got a cannon, but he's got to get, he's got to put the touch on it. And that's all about setting the table. So I wouldn't put all of it on the receiver. I wouldn't put all of it on the quarterback. But at the end of the day, they always said, if it touches your hands, it's your fault. It's your responsibility. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I don't know where you land on that, but I was really, we were really excited on this show that Ben Johnson was sharing that in this meeting, because this is the first time, D-Nice, that we've actually got to hear from him since, that really nice playoff run. And then he was talking about how Braxton Jones came in yoked. He gained like an extra 8 pounds or something like that. And he said he's playing with motivation and he looked yoked, and that came from Ben Johnson's mouth. So now that's kind of interesting, because now we got this Taylor Decker information, and we got this, he's already signed. We already have Braxton signed. So if we're in cap space troubles and we only have $250,000 on the books. Now I know they could restructure, but I'm not sure if they're going to restructure for Taylor Decker. And I'm sure there's supposed to be a conversation about Taylor Decker and whether or not he's, healthy and good to go. Might be one of those conversations where it's like, hey, bro, I coached you before. Don't do me wrong. Are you good to go? Can I get anything? You got anything left in the tank? And what's it going to cost? Would you sign Taylor Decker right now if you was Ryan Poles, or no?
All right. Well, I'm going to say this. Anything you have to do to protect that quarterback's backside, at that left tackle position, you do it. You don't sit around. You can't afford to play with that position, because one blindside hit, it could be our season. So with Taylor being a priority, you do whatever's necessary to ensure that you take care of the left tackle position. Now, Taylor Decker, I'm torn, because we've signed the Wells kid, the Wills kid, out of Cleveland. We got Braxton Jones. Those guys are younger.
Sure.
Younger doesn't always mean better. But, if there's room, why not? It could be open competition. May the best man win, but you do what you have to do to protect that left side.
I agree. You put it really well, and I think it's important what you said. I'll repeat it for the folks who are at home and for the folks that are in the back. D-Nice was basically just saying right now, just because you're younger doesn't mean that you're better. I mean, you know, there's younger guys that are been often injured and had, you know, bad luck compared to the older guys, or vice versa, you know. So every situation's different, and but we do want to look at, you know, age to a certain extent, but you've got to kick the tires on all these guys, I think, and do your due diligence and try to make this team better before we go out and take the field. So sounds to me like if sounds to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but if Ben Johnson signs off on it and Dan Rushar signs off on it, you're good with the decision, right? Leave it up to them.
Absolutely.
You know, and
like, I just feel like, you know, we know how important that left tackle position is, so you do what you have to do to ensure that side of the ball.
Well, and you know,
that side of the field.
I want to tell you some numbers, and you might already know these, but he's 6'7". Does that not ring a bell as to somebody else that's really tall on the team? Ozzy Trapilo. If you bring this guy in, he could actually help him in a way of like looking at the frame, just from a frame perspective, right? He could have potentially work with him being that, you know, veteran journeyman, you know, at the tackle position. And, you know, he was a Pro Bowler in 2024 when Ben Johnson's there. And it was only 2 years ago. It's not like it was that long ago. So he potentially could probably bring him back. He knows, if anybody knows what he's got, it's Ben Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's something to that also. But yeah, man, I say if you got time, I don't know where you're at in your day, but these guys, they like these mock drafts. Where you at right now, buddy?
I can do one. You ready? What time you think you're gonna be ready?
Well, we're talking about right now. Yeah, we're talking about right now. Let's rock. Let's fire up the mock draft simulator. Let's get it started. You know how these guys are. They love it. They absolutely love it. So okay, so we're gonna pick the Bears. We're gonna go 7 rounds. We're gonna go fast. We like fast. And then we're gonna share this bad boy so that everybody could see it. Mm-hmm. That's what we're gonna do. And for those folks at PFSN, they said, since you guys use our mock draft simulator so much, we're gonna send you one without any ads. Isn't that cool? So that way when so that way when we're on here, we don't have any distractions, you know, because they understand how helpful it is and how much we use the darn thing. So but yeah, man. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this going. And we're off. Now, are you open to trades, D-Nice?
Oh, yeah. I'm open to anything that makes sense.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay. That's good to hear. So let's get into this. Let's see what happens. So Baltimore is wanting to trade us right away. Our 25 for 45, a pick 80 in next year's second. Now I will say this. When I was on you know me, I've always warned against trading next year's draft pick because this isn't a dynasty and we don't get that immediate impact, but we don't also get to see what these players turn into also. So what was interesting when I had Ian Cunningham in, you know, curator for, you know, PFSN and works for them, he said that he looks at it from a like almost like a GM standpoint. Like there's extreme value when you get a second round draft pick for the next year, man. That's big, you know. And especially since you're getting two picks right here, you're getting a pick in 45, you're getting a pick in 80. So now you're forced multiplying. Now you got an extra pick in the top 90, and that's pretty huge. So I don't know if
I don't mind a trade back, but not that far.
No, oh, you don't want to go that far. Okay, well let's see what somebody else has got cooking over here. Yeah, let's see what somebody else has got cooking over here. Let's see if there's something else that's good. Oh, this happened to me last time. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. So yeah, much of the same with the Chargers, and then Pittsburgh's 53. So we don't really have anything that's worth, getting into, is what I would say. So yeah, for what you're saying. Now I will say this: Peter Woods is available at pick 25. I don't know if you run to the podium and grab that guy or if you got somebody else. So you got Olavne Alone, offensive guard, Penn State, Caden McDonald at 24, Key Conception, wide receiver, Texas A&M. You got them available. Brandon, what's up?
I'm gonna tell you where I'm going to go.
Where are you going, buddy?
And this is me.
Okay.
I'm going safety, man.
I'm
going safety.
Okay.
We need a starter at that position. These other positions have starters, so getting guys in the first round just to take a back seat or play a complementary role to these starters don't make sense. We need an immediate impact starter at the safety position. I'm going safety at 25.
So we got Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He's available. And would you like to get him? That's the guy. Okay, so we drafted your guy. He is now a Chicago Bear. And now we're moving on to pick 57. Okay, so we got another trade in the on books. Oh, right now Baltimore wants our 57 and 129 for their 80 pick and then second year pick. Is what they're. I think that's too far. So, what position are you looking at right now? What are you interested in, D-Nice?
Either D tackle or defensive end.
So right now, this is what we got on deck. Right at pick 35 has already fell. Max Keenanker from Arizona State, offensive tackle. He's available. Now, keep in mind, this is pick 57 that we're working with. This guy's dropped 22 spots. Now, beyond that, you have Lee Hunter from Texas Tech. He's available, defensive tackle. You got Chris Brazzell, wide receiver from Tennessee. He's available. And Zion Young, edge Missouri. He's available. And Anthony Hill Jr. from linebacker Texas. He's available. So yeah, you got, and then you've got
Zion.
You want Zion? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want Lee Hunter, right? You're gonna pass on that guy? Because we got picks.
We can get Lee Hunter at 60.
Or okay, so you'd rather have Zion Young. Okay, I see what you're doing. Yeah, let's do that. Again, there's a pick here. I'm gonna pass that up. It's not really that good. And for time purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and save you the trouble of explaining all of that. Let's go to defensive tackle now, I think is what you're telling me you're interested in. Now you've got Lee Hunter still available and then Grayson Halton from Oklahoma. Which guy do you like better?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Those guys are contrasting. I think the kid out of Oklahoma I think he's a true 3 technique.
Okay.
Got a lot of quickness.
Yeah.
I like Lee Hunter. Lee's a stud. Ooh-wee.
Now I will tell you that the picks in between the two, Lee Hunter's for 44 and Grayson Halton is for 66. And you're clocking in at 60. Yeah. So there's tremendous value to get Lee Hunter here, but there's also tremendous value to get the guy that you want. So it doesn't really matter sometimes,
Yeah, for sure. I'm a roll with Lee Hunter. I'm a roll with Lee.
Okay. All right. So we got 3 defensive positions taken in our top 80, and now we got pick 89. And man, people are still hounding us about our picks. Can you believe this? They just want all of our stuff, man. Like I said, no. So let's see what's available now. What are you interested in now? What's your next position you want to take a look at?
Right now could either be linebacker, running back, cornerback.
Okay. So you got a cornerback in Texas right now, Malik Muhammad. He's available. You got a linebacker, Deontay Lawson from Alabama. He's available too. And then you got a running back from Washington, Jonah Coleman. He's available. What do you think? Dominique Orange is available from Iowa State also, if that's somebody that you're interested in. Oh, my bad. And Emmett Johnson from Nebraska, running back from Nebraska. He's available too. Sorry.
Yeah, he's nice too. What about wide receiver, Track? I know what our room looks like. I understand it.
Oh, what about
this is called due diligence, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there room on the roster for another tight end? You got Max Clare from Ohio State. But if you're looking at receiver, Katron Allen from Penn State, running back, he's available too. Here's a wide receiver for you. You got Elijah Surratt from Indiana. I know guys are really high on him. They won the championship.
What about the kid from Georgia?
Wide receiver?
Kid from Georgia. Yeah, last name Bryant. Is he there?
Let me see. Let me go to a wide receiver, buddy. Not a problem. Oh, let's see. I got Brennan Thompson from Mississippi, Kendrick Law from Kentucky, Malik Benson from Oregon, Malachi Fields from Notre Dame, Kevin Coleman Jr. from Missouri, and then Dion Burks from Oklahoma. I mean, we're going really down though. Now we're already down to like 148. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Who are they saying is the best player available, Trey?
Best player available for receivers or for anything?
No, just period, all together.
That would be that running back from Nebraska, pick 80, Emmett Johnson is the best. And then after that, pick 87, Malik Muhammad, cornerback from Texas. So.
What's that linebacker?
You want to look at linebacker? Oh, Deontay Lawson from Alabama.
Oh.
You don't sound too sure about that guy. Okay. Let's
I mean, I like the sound that let's go to center.
Center?
Yeah.
Okay. 99. You got Brian Parker II, which they've had a conversation with him about, and then Jaeger Burton from Kentucky at 108. So there's still some value there. This might be where you're going to pick a guy, but can you pick a starter right now versus a backup is what I'm looking at. Oh, you know what else I forgot to tell you, D-Nice? In that conversation that Ben Johnson had over in Arizona for that meeting, for that breakfast meeting, Courtney Cronin said that Ben Johnson was talking about how they found out in February that Drew Dalman was retiring, and they pivoted really quickly to go out and acquire. And we're going to do a show, I think Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. We're going to do a show on Bradbury and how special and what a steal they got him for, and how good that center is. But I think it's important, if this is a really good and deep draft for center, to go ahead and have somebody behind him, to learn from. Is there anybody there that you like that you'd want to get right now, or
at center?
Yeah.
I like Slaughter.
Slaughter
was very high.
Yeah, he's there.
He's a little later on.
Logan Jones is available too. There, a lot of people are high on.
I also like Logan Jones.
Yeah, from Iowa. We could pick him.
Late. James Wackermeyer is one I enjoy too.
Okay, yeah, 206. So if we miss Logan Jones, if we skip Logan Jones, and he's available at 129, and he's pick 130, right? That's where he's projected. We're 129. If we skip out on him, we can go ahead and get Logan, the next best center behind that, Jake Slaughter. So I'm okay. I think we can get the center next pick. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
You know what, Trax?
What's up?
Let's see if we can find. Let's see if we can find. let's go running. Let's go with the running back.
Emmett Johnson
out of Nebraska.
Okay. All
Emmett
right.
Johnson. Yes, sir.
And there you have it, folks. This is the first offensive drafted player that the Bears have picked up right now. Now, I will say this. We have a nice trade. I think this is interesting. They want to trade our pick 129, Philadelphia does, for their 137, and they're giving us a 178 also. I find that extremely valuable. I like that we are getting an extra pick before 200. And we're only trading back 8 spots. You know what I mean? So I think that's some value.
Yeah, that's good value.
I like it. Oops. What did I just do? Uh-oh. Did I lose the whole thing? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Lord, help me. What is going on, man? Oh, boy. I clicked something. I think we lost the draft, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we.
That bad. It was that bad. Nobody liked it. The computer didn't even like it.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyways, all right. Well, that was fun. We got some good picks. We were gonna trade, and I'm sure we were gonna get all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and close out the show. That was fun though. You did a good job. I like the fact that you hit the defense first, and then you got that running back, and I thought that was pretty cool. We got 4 picks in. Probably the most important picks out of them all, wouldn't you say? The next one's just round out.
And I truly believe we got some guys that's Hound Bears draft board, especially in the first 2 picks.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard the Chicago Bears, press conference, I recommend that you go listen to that. It's on social media, so go check that out. And if you haven't heard it from us, we gave you a good recap on what went down, anywhere from Taylor Decker news to Braxton Jones being yoked to disciplining the coaches and getting ready and what we're going to do as far as the draft and how we're just wide open. And we will, it sounds to me like we're going to get best player available, and I feel like that's the good way to go. I feel like that's the way D Nice basically pretty much drove this whole mock draft. So I'm very I like our mock draft, man. So thank you, D Nice, as always. If you guys haven't checked D Nice and I show out from Chicago Bears on Spotify, Amazon, wherever Apple, wherever you guys consume audio podcasts, check us out on Believe in Bears, man. We had a really good show. We were going over the top 30 list of the guys that the Bears brought in, and we tackled the first top 10. We gave really good detail. Thought it was really fun. Make sure you guys please support us on there. Like, subscribe, download, follow, all that stuff, share, tell everybody about it. We need your help, and we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate you here at Chicago Sports Podcast and Shy Sports Network on our website for all of our blogs and things. Also, we're on Believe in Cubs too, and we have a good time with that, and we like doing that show. It's fun, even though it wasn't that fun yesterday. I was a little disappointed, but the day before, it was really fun, and that's kind of part of being a Chicago sports fan. Sometimes it rains and sometimes it shines. So, man, hopefully they can get it done. I'm hoping that them and the Sox can turn it around. They're in a hole. It's still early, a lot of games left, but we can't say that all season because then we'll just have a bad season, right, T-Nice?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We have a blast on that, man.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to say? I would like to say this. D-Nice just called the hotline, and you can too. Brian Erlacher's called here. Doug Plank called here. Jim Osborne called here. Louis called. Doug's called. Noah called, first time listener, and he hopped right on there and got right on and left a voice message. Oh yeah. Would you like to listen to some of those voice messages with us, D-Nice?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. So let me see here. I think, let's see. I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Yeah, we got one available. That we played all the others. I'll play. You know what? For the folks that weren't on yesterday's show, I will play. Mike's back. Let's play Mike's back. Here we go. You know what? I think it's because the line is tied up with you on it. It's not allowing us to play it. Yeah. I was kind of worried about that, but that's all right. Noah basically just said, you know, in his and we'll play it on Wednesday's show. And make sure you guys call this hotline so you can get on here too. Let's get a couple more here from different people, and appreciate Doug and Louie, you know, getting people rounding them up and getting them on. But basically he was just saying that he feels like we're Super Bowl all the way, baby. He's feeling real confident about this season, and he loves the Chicago Bears, and he loves the podcast, and we love him too, man. And we're glad that he's a part of the family. So, yeah, do you have anything you want to say, D-Nice, before we get out of here, brother?
Hey, listen, big shout out to all the Bears fans, all the Chicago sports podcast supporters. Believe in Bears, believe in Cubs. Shout out to everybody that supports the platforms. And if you're new and just not hearing about these things, please come in, like and subscribe. Great Bears and Cubs content, you know, for Bears fans, from Bears fans.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I appreciate that, man.
I'm sorry, I lost it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you very much, D-Nice. I appreciate you. And Chi-Town up, Bear down. You guys have a good day. Be safe today. Tops on the ice, red lights flash, goods in the summer, whole city mad. Tracks like a tone, nigga ran for the sound. City ride with it, yeah, this our town. It's Chicago. Fucking here we live in Chicago. Sports podcast, here we